Hey guys, look what I can do. I'm like that cat meme. Playing a video game is very similar to going to a restaurant. Some restaurants you've been to before. You've had a meal there, decided if you liked it or not, and may have even convinced some of your friends to go to that same restaurant. Whether it's the environment that you have your meal in, the side dishes, or maybe just the final boss dessert, there's always something that makes you want to come back. Now, the hardest part of any meal is waiting for it to arrive. You may like your restaurant to give your meal almost as soon as you order it. Others like their games to be delivered in courses, so that each flavor has the chance to be fully experienced. Regardless, there is some level of waiting required before your meal. And what about once your meal is done? Do you complete it with the secret boss dessert? Or just go home and try a different restaurant another time? I've been to restaurants that I've really enjoyed, and others. I'm not quite sure what my all-time favorite restaurant is, but I would have to say Olive Garden is definitely up there. When you're here, you're family. When I order a meal at Olive Garden, I typically know I'll be waiting anywhere from 20 to 50 minutes, and it's pretty good.
So is Donna still in the picture? Maybe.
I'm not quite sure how to segue from this into video games. What I'm trying to say is that Olive Garden is like Kingdom Hearts. When I boot up Kingdom Hearts, I know exactly what to expect, what to do, the strategies that are involved, and how long the game will take to beat. I recently replayed Kingdom Hearts 2 after a while, and beat it after about 25 hours, which would put me in 161st place in the speedrunning community. Not to brag or anything. I enjoyed the game and found the pacing to be great for the story it was trying to tell. On the other hand, some people really like to wait for their meal to be done. When I finished my meal at Kingdom Cafe, I felt satisfied. On my way back home, I saw another restaurant that I wanted to try, so I asked some of my friends and they mentioned that it was a must-eat location. So the next day, I tried Persona Brunchery 5. I walked in, asked them for a meal, and was delivered the first course after an hour. And then the next course came in 2 hours later. Yeah, I left the brunchery after that. It just wasn't for me. Can you tell I was hungry as I wrote this script? Future me, put up an advertisement for the Olive Garden commercial just because I can't be the only one that's hungry. Everyone needs to be hungry as well. They got endless breadsticks. Games have evolved so much since the early days. Many of the first games wouldn't be completed by the player. You'd have to restart the game entirely since there weren't any save spaces, or you'd have to remember a password. For instance, Mega Man 1 takes about 3 hours to beat, 3 hours for extras, pretty much 3 hours to experience everything. Meanwhile, Arc takes about 202 hours just for the solo. Games have become bigger. There's a lot more content in these games than ever before. But does that make them any better? How long should a game be? Before we go on, might I offer you the chef's special, tenderized by our world-class chefs, cooked to perfection and drizzled with pasta sauce. The subscribe button is our best-known dish. Now, other places may ask you to pay to receive this, but here at Snap Lounge, we're giving you this for free. That's right, all you have to do is just click that subscribe button. It will mean so much to the chef that makes these meals. If you don't like it, you can always unsubscribe. There's no risk, but I assure you, you'll be in for something special. Now, some people like to point out that a game should be as long as the price point is. $1 should equal between 30 minutes to 1 hour of gameplay. So if a game is $20, the game should be about 10 to 20 hours long. $60 games should be somewhere between 30 to 60 hours long, and so forth. This doesn't really make much sense to me though. I played Final Fantasy VII for about 60 hours, which does line up with the math so far, but I also played the $25 game Power Wash Simulator for and I'm not proud to admit it, about 70 hours. Does that mean that I had more fun power washing than swinging a giant sword? No, I agree that I want to play a game that's a good price point, but cost isn't the only factor that should impact how long a game should be. Persona 5 is a $60 game on the PlayStation and takes people almost 100 hours to complete. I played for a few hours, got bored, and left it, even though I paid that much money for it. What about the kind of game that's being played? Obviously, Persona 5 is an RPG, so it's supposed to be long. Most RPGs take roughly 30 to 50 hours to beat on the lower end. Meanwhile, adventure games, such as the Uncharted franchise, take between 10 to 20 hours to beat. Uncharted and Persona 5 were both the same price at one point, and yet I enjoyed my time more with Uncharted. I'm actually currently trying to beat the rest of the Uncharted games because I enjoy them for the story that they're trying to tell. Besides, it really depends on the type of player. If someone has never played an RPG, they're going to have a harder time adjusting to these new components than someone who's already used to RPGs and the way that they work. The main component that makes me decide if I want to keep playing a game is the story. I enjoy games that have a strong story and drive me to explore the world. I would much rather play a game that's 4 hours long with a strong story than one that just goes on for so much longer than it has any right to be. I actually got into a conversation with my dad not too long ago about Final Fantasy VII. After I beat it, he mentioned that he thought it was way too long, but I didn't think it was. I think that was because I enjoyed the game and the story that it was telling. There were some slow parts, but that didn't outweigh my view of the game overall. Now, what about games that have no story or no ending, really? How long should those games be? I revealed in an earlier video that I first played Minecraft when I was 10 in the hospital on the Kindle. I've played other versions of the game since then, and if we were to add up my total playtime of Minecraft over the years, I'd easily have over 500 hours, and that's being modest. Over 500 hours on one game that I haven't gotten bored of. My mom actually plays Ark not for the story, but just because it's fun to run around in. My sister actually got her addicted to it, so now I have two people talking to me about the different dinosaurs and what kind of berries they like to eat. I find the game confusing, but I haven't really tried the game to their level. I found this dino though. Her name is Bean. Everyone say hi, Bean. Hi, Bean. Hi, Bean. Even though I wouldn't spend much time on this game, my mom and sister have spent over 140 hours on it, and they're still discovering new things around them. Did I also mention that most of their time has been spent on only one map? The game is huge and has so much to do. With games that seemingly have no ending, how long should they be? Going back to my restaurant idea, if Olive Garden is Kingdom Hearts, Minecraft and Ark would be a buffet. There'd be many unique meals to try, and you leave when you decide to leave. You don't have to wait for the food to arrive, you get it when you're ready. So how long should a game be? As cliche as it sounds, it really depends on your playstyle. Like I said at the beginning, it depends on what you're in the mood for and what kind of games you're playing. I know some people who have done the impossible and have played through Persona 5 twice. Meanwhile, I got through the first dungeon and called it a day. Some like huge, expansive games, while others just the story. But I know you didn't just watch this video for no answer, so I present to you the factual, scientifically backed answer that I have gathered through my own research. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the length of a video game should be 10 to 30 hours. Games that I play in between this range seem to be able to tell their story without becoming repetitive. The Last of Us, Kingdom Hearts, and Uncharted are all able to tell their story in a compelling way. If these games were any longer or shorter, something would be missing. Games outside of this range can still be fun, but I need either the story or mechanics to be something I've never seen before. So what do you think? Is my answer the same as yours? Let me know in the comments down below. I know there's other factors that I didn't get the chance to cover here, such as multiplayer games or arcade-style games, so there's still a lot to talk about. Personally, I just know I won't be going back to Persona Brunchery 5, as the experience is just too long. But you can probably catch me at Animal Crossing Bistro. Whether it's a game or a restaurant, just make sure you plan ahead on a meal that you're sure to enjoy.